This video is a chance for you to find out a little bit more about me and about my coaching, and I aim to answer some of the questions that come up a lot when people talk to me about coaching with me. So I coach medical and business professionals, and my background isn't actually in either of those fields. My background is in education, teaching, and school leadership. And so that's the first thing to say, is that I come from outside of the industrial, the business areas that I actually work with. And that can often be a real advantage. And people that I work with appreciate the benefit of me being outside of their business area. I see things differently. And so if, however, you're looking for somebody who is from your areas, perhaps you're a business or a medical professional who wants to work specifically with someone who's been in that field as well, then I can recommend some other really excellent coaches who are able to do that, who have that experience. I don't know your industry, your business. I've not worked for the NHS, and there is real power in that, because what I see is from a different perspective. I don't need to know your industry. You know your industry, you know your business, you know surgery, medicine, whatever it is. What I'm here to do is to point you to something else. So the reason I don't need to know your industry is because the work I do is based on understanding ourselves and other people, based on universal principles of how we all actually work. And the content and the kind of story of what's going on specifically for us sometimes can get in the way of actually really seeing something very deeply about what's going on for us within a relationship dynamic, or within a workplace, within a particular role or industry. So the fact that I'm not involved with all of that is what my clients appreciate about this coaching, if that's the right kind of coaching for you. So I help you to do two things, really. The first is to understand yourself and other people better. And when you know what's actually going on in your own mind as you experience situations or other people, and when you know what's really going on for other people when they react to you in certain different ways, and of course there's an infinite different number of different ways they could be responding to you. It's going to be different for everybody, but there's an underpinning understanding of what's going on for people that makes an enormous difference to every interaction you'll come across. So that's the first thing, is this understanding yourself and understanding other people better. And then the second thing that I do for my clients is help them to see the enormous potential that they have that is going untapped currently. So the tendency is for us all to work from our intellect, the knowledge, the expertise, all that known stuff that we've built up. And most of my clients are highly expert in their field. So there's a lot of that, and it's really, really valuable. But if that's all you've got, you can get to a point where that becomes a limiting factor. And realizing that what you also have is connection to infinite new thinking, insight, creative potential, enables you to use that in different ways. And so, this is what people who are really high performers do, is that they're creating something new. They're not just using the known, they're going beyond. Those are the people, I suppose, that we call geniuses. That's what they do. Well, we can all be more genius by tapping into that part of ourselves. But often when we've been brought up in highly technical fields, we kind of start to overlook that, because there's so much that we need to actually know. There's so much learnt content. And as I said, that's obviously really, really important too, but it's kind of supercharged by this understanding that there's something more than that, that's authentically us, that's unique and fresh and new and can come through us. So tapping into that potential is really inspiring and exciting, and I love to explore that with my clients. So coaching with me is not for everybody. It's not, I'm not a leadership coach who's going to teach you techniques and strategies. I'm not a conventional coach who will just listen and reflect everything back to you. I have something to share with you about how our minds work, and part of what I do is sharing that, as well as hearing from you and exploring together what's going on specifically for you. So coaching with me is for you if you've got a challenge that you're up against, something you want to create differently, perhaps that you want to create your team in a different way, you want a different dynamic to happen there, and perhaps you're a bit stuck about how to do that. And as I said, I know that you've got everything you need to make the changes that you want. And what we're doing is looking for how you can tap into that. So I hope that that's been helpful. Of course, I'm always happy to talk to, I insist on talking to you before we consider working together, because it's really important that we get to know each other, that we explore all these things a little bit further and see whether I'm a good fit for you. And if not, as I said, there are other coaches that I can recommend you to. So please do get in touch, set up a call with me. You can access my calendar here as well. And let's talk soon and see whether we can take this coaching journey together.